Give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. All right.
This is the
Give it to me, give it to me, give it
this is the
all right.
this is the
Give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. Yeah.
this is the
All right. Give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. Yeah. Go.
Hey there, friends. Welcome to Say It Right, an emergency program which helps you to avoid numerous mistakes. They are so easy to make while studying English. Is your vision getting worse? Are you linguistically short-sighted? Is it hard for you to see the difference between some English words? Well, then it's time you made your vision clear. So today, we're going to find out the following. How not to lose your sight because of the incorrect usage of the words then and than, as well as along and alone. How going on blind dates will help you to tie the knot. Do you need Mr. Right if he always thinks he's right? What does mail have to do with snails? Why strawberry shortcake, the toad, and the frog are involved in this story. I will explain everything in just a few seconds. Use my vision drugs and let the scales fall from your eyes. Let's take a pill of knowledge.
Give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. Yeah. Go.
There are many words in English that are similar in pronunciation and spelling. It can easily confuse anybody, but not you. The first words we will examine today are then and than. As for then, let's take a glance. It's an adverb that means an event which happened after another in a sequence of events. For example, I went on a date with Tim and then met John at a party. You can also use then to refer back to a certain time in the past, like here. I was a real party animal then. Got it? Good. As for than, it is usually used to compare two things. For example, John is much more handsome than Tim is. Also, it is used to show an exception or contrast. Most of the day, I don't think about anything other than John. Perfect. For today, I can see that you see these two very clearly. We have one more set of words left. And the difference between them is difficult to see. They are alone and along. As for alone, it is a word which means to be by yourself. For example, I'm rarely alone on Saturday nights. Got it? As for along, it means to go on something, such as a road or on the edge towards the other end of it. Like, for instance, we walked along the river for almost 2 hours. It can also be used as an adverb, meaning to take someone or something with you. For example, I took my camera along on our walk, just in case we saw something interesting. Good. How is it, friends? Do you feel your vision's improved? Next up, I'll give you some special vitamins to make it even sharper.
Give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. Yeah. Go.
Anne-Marie, your language nurse, has prepared something delicious for you. And this time, there will be love idioms. Do you feel full of energy yet? Just perfect. You know, for some time, I've been chatting online with such a sweet guy. He was so nice. And at last, he asked me to go on a blind date. A blind date means an arranged meeting between a man and a woman who have never met before. For example, it's so exciting to go on blind dates because you never know what a person will look like. So, when the time came, I went to the cafe to meet my virtual friend. I was wondering what type of man he was, but the moment I saw him, I realized that at last I've found my Mr. Right. hope you understood that Mr. Right means a man who would be the perfect husband. Like, for example, I couldn't decide whether Sam or Tom was my Mr. Right. Fortunately, now I don't have to make such a dreadful choice. Oh, my beloved one will be so happy when we finally tie the knot. Do you agree? You've probably guessed that the phrase "to tie the knot" means to get married. Honey, won't we be happy? Girls, on my part, I advise you to sometimes go on blind dates so that you may find your Mr. Right and tie the knot with him as soon as possible. Guys, here we come. Excellent. I don't know about you, but after this story, I've just got so much energy. I hope you feel rejuvenated having learned such loving phrases. It's time for meditation. Take your seat and relax. Today, we're going to take it at a snail's pace. That's really slow. Have you ever heard of snail mail? What does mail have to do with snails and vice versa? Snail mail is mail which is sent not by email, fax, or other electronic means of communication, but by means of the good old postal service. It is called snail mail because it is very slow, as is a snail. It is an informal name, though officially it is called paper mail, postal mail, land mail, or simply mail. In its turn, the Postal Service is called the Post Office. But, unfortunately, usual mail lost its popularity due to the appearance of new electronic means of communication. As a matter of fact, the term snail mail first appeared as early as 1981 in the feature cartoon Strawberry Shortcake in Big Apple City. There, the snail delivered the post, and Strawberry received her letter 3 weeks late. The snail character justified herself, saying, "Snail mail, she is slow." Before this cartoon, this expression was first used by Arnold LaBelle, an American author of children's books. In 1970, he published a book called Frog and Toad and Friends, which has a story titled The Letter. There, Frog gave a letter to Snail to be delivered to Toad, which took Snail 4 days to deliver. That was all I wanted to tell you about snail mail. Interesting, huh? You've heard so much information about mail, but now it's time to wake up. When I count to 3, you will wake up rejuvenated and full of knowledge. 1, 2, 3. Our treatment session is coming to an end. Let's make an examination of your linguistic vision. Now, you know how to differentiate the words than and then, as well as alone and along. Great. I see you will never forget the meaning of the phrases blind date, to find Mr. Right, as well as to tie the knot. Perfect. And from this moment on, you know what snail mail is. And maybe sometimes we'll snail mail your friends from abroad. So, what's the diagnosis? You have 100% linguistic vision. Everything went successfully. You feel positive and healthy. But remember, Say It Right is not a panacea from all language blunders, but an emergency tool. Together with us, you will reach new heights of English learning. My wish for you is to have a clear mind, perfect vision, and rich English. This was Anne-Marie, your language nurse, and you watched Say It Right. May your English be clean and healthy. Скажи мне, да. Не очень удобно, конечно. Ты не знал, но я оператор. Там все, которое происходит в Сомали сейчас, это все я. Я так сделала, и потом вот так. Я говорила что-то diagnosis, чуть-чуть странно.